Hey, welcome back to Big Wet Art. This is Alina, and if you're new here, welcome. Today I'm recreating another photo that I found on Pinterest. And my logic behind this one was trying to pick something as simple as possible with really workable features, if that makes sense. Something I could customize. Sometimes I feel bad not doing justice to the original model, but I think, especially with this one, I decided I don't want to just draw the same photo over again, even though I really am working on foundations and shapes and proportion. I still wanted to have a little bit of fun with it, and I knew that I wanted to make something a little fantastical. I wanted it to be whimsical and a little bit disturbing too. I think the combination of those things makes art really interesting and also pleasing to look at. I had a couple different inspirations for this piece, and how it turned out is directly correlated to the weather where I am right now. Obviously it's winter. Not everywhere in the world, but it's been snowing, and I'm not someone who's a very big fan of this time of year. But the other night, I remember getting home and there was a fresh layer of snow on everything, and the streetlights were bouncing off and everything was sparkling, and it was really kind of beautiful. And I think it's the first time I've noticed the snow in that way. Even though I've been in this climate for a very long time, so it's a little bit winter themed. And another thing that inspired me was some new music I found. So I've been listening a lot to this artist called Aurora. And she is really fascinating to me, like sort of otherworldly. And she has this one song particularly, although I was kind of just shuffling through her discography, but I kept coming back to the same song called Apple Tree, that I think is honestly such a work of art. And it was on a loop for probably the majority of the time I worked on this piece. When I initially heard that song, I was a little bit freaked out by how good it was. I mean, do you ever find a song or a piece of art that you experience for the first time and you're wondering, how did I even exist before I knew about this? Like, how did I not? I don't know, it almost feels like it changes you immediately, and you know you're just never going back to not having experienced this song, and it's such a beautiful feeling. Is that crazy? This is where I think the piece really started to take shape. It's right around the time those proportions start falling in line and everything is making more sense. And this is also the fun part because, I mean, the initial sketch and working up from that can be frustrating. It's an emotional experience for sure because it's just trial and error and, you know, a lot of error. But this is the part where you get to play around, and this is where the artistic vision starts to kind of appear. Does anyone else listen to the same songs or watch the same shows while drawing? I find I always, for each piece, I gravitate towards a specific song. So I ended up making this kind of pretty, and everything was really soft and cute, and that's just not where I wanted it to end. And that's not how I was feeling either. Apple Tree is kind of a vicious song in some ways, and the video too is really kind of graphic and violent in the best way, in a really positive, uplifting, empowering way. So I ended up adding the blood dripping from her mouth. And I think it made the piece a little harder, but it also is a more honest expression of what I was feeling at the time. But yeah, we're coming to the end. I hope you liked this. If you did, you should subscribe, comment below. Tell me what some songs are that you always come back to when you're drawing, or maybe listening to at the moment. I could always use new music. Bye.